Hi, welcome. In today's video, I am going to give you 5 of the best questions that you can ask in an interview so that they see you as the perfect hire. Not only that, if you stay until the end of the video, I'll give you a free downloadable that's going to help you with your job search in every position that you apply for. So who am I? I have been in recruitment and HR for over 10 years. I've interviewed thousands of candidates and they've asked me a gazillion questions. So that's why I'm putting this video together, because it's super important. But let's go into what you should avoid. I'm just going to give you an overview. What you should avoid is asking about holidays, asking about compensation. You should avoid talking about benefits and things like that, especially in the first interview, unless it's brought up by the hiring manager. So avoid those questions. So let's get into it. Number 1, one of my favorite questions is, what do you think is some of the most important qualities for somebody to excel in this role? So it's a great question to ask. You'll also find out a lot more information about the company and the culture, and also information that is not on the job description. So I always say, lead with a question like this. Number 2, which is probably one of my favorite questions so that you can build that amazing rapport with the person that's interviewing you, is you ask them about them. So number 2 is, what is your favorite thing about your role, and what is one of the most challenging things about what you do? So this is an amazing question because you get them to open up and talk to you in a little bit more details and so forth. So you're trying to build that rapport, and everybody, and I can't stress this enough, everybody loves to talk about themselves. So this is a great opportunity. Somehow I love when this question gets asked to me because I get the platform. So it's a great question to ask. So I think you should lead with one of those as well. Number 3 is a very basic question, and a question that you should ask at all interviews so that you have the best grasp. So number 3 is, can you tell me about the day-to-day responsibilities about this role? And why this question is important is because you find out a little bit more. Not only do you find out a little bit more about the role that you're applying for, but also it shows that you're enthusiastic. It shows that you're interested. It shows that you really want this position. More than anything else, I would say that this question is really valuable to you. You find out about this position. Remember that we're spending so much time at work. So you want to know that you're getting into the right field. You want to know that you're getting into the right company and the corporation and position. So it's a great question for you to ask. In fact, it should be actually mandatory for every interview that you go. I'm sure you already know some of these answers, but it's always so good to hear it from the horse's mouth, right? So lead with that one as well. And this is a cheeky one, but number 4, I would say, is ask, how do I compare with other candidates that have applied for this position? It's an amazing question. And one, because you get phenomenal feedback, but you also find out if they have any concerns or hesitations about your application. And if they do, this is a way for you to address them. So another way that you can ask this question as well is, do you have any feedback for me? How do you think I did in the interview? Is there anything that you can point out that could help me in the future? It's a phenomenal question. It's actually one of the best questions for you as a candidate. And don't be scared to ask this question. I personally love when candidates ask me this question. And the reason why is because it shows me that they're willing to improve. It shows me that they're invested in their personal growth. So you should definitely ask that question. And I'll repeat again, how do I compare to other candidates who have applied for the position? Or do you have any feedback for me? Do you have any hesitations about my application and things like that? So it's a great question. And finally, number 5, what is the next steps of the application process? This also shows that you're eager to move on to the next round. And it also lets you know how you can potentially follow up moving on after the interview. Those are the top 5 questions. Just to recap, What are the top qualities for somebody to be successful in this role? Number 2, great question. You get them talking, the hiring manager, which is what's your favorite thing about your role? What do you find most challenging, etc. Number 3, what is the day-to-day responsibilities of this role? You get to know more about the company, you get to know more about the position, and you find out a lot more information that's not on the job description. Number 4, my favorite. How do I compare to other candidates? Do you have any feedback for me? Do you have any hesitations around my application? And finally, number 5, which is, what is the next steps of the application process? So that's it. I would love to hear from you. Subscribe, do leave a comment, but I did promise you something, which is at the bottom, oh yes, at the bottom, you'll get a free downloadable. Nowadays, most applications that you make online, it's mandatory that you use a cover letter. So I would say, go to that link, free downloadable template. I would love to hear from you. Subscribe, do leave a comment, and that's it. Bye guys.